I am absolutely thrilled to dive into today's topic because we're going to peel back the curtain on a truly fascinating industry. So, say you want to buy a casino. You just find a building, hire some dealers, and watch the chips roll in, right? Well, here is the strange, incredible reality about this business. A casino is literally the only legal business in the entire world where mathematics guarantees you a top-line profit on every single dollar that walks through the door. It's a completely bulletproof mathematical flaw. But as we're going to see today, having a mathematical guarantee doesn't exactly mean it's an easy ride.
And that brings us right to the central paradox of our explainer. Listen, if the math is practically printing money for the house, why in the world do the smartest, richest operators on the planet keep going bankrupt? I mean, how can a business that is mathematically rigged in its own favor ever fail? It's a fantastic question. To really grasp this, we need to completely rethink how a casino actually makes money from the inside out. It's not about cheating, it's not about loaded dice, it is entirely about the rules, the structure, and something the industry calls the house edge.
All right, let's break down this concept of the house edge. To make it super relatable, imagine a perfectly fair bet. You and I, we bet on a simple coin flip. Heads, you win a buck. Tails, I win a buck. Zero edge for either of us. But now, consider the casino bet. I'm going to change just one tiny rule. Heads still pays you $1, but if it lands on tails, I take $1 and a nickel. It is the exact same coin, the exact same flip. But now on average, I'm pocketing 5 cents every single time we play. Now on one single bet, that 5 cents is totally boring. Who cares, right? But over 1,000,000 bets, it is mathematically catastrophic for the player. That invisible 5 cents is the house edge. And honestly, every single game at a casino is just a dressed-up version of this exact same trick.
Let's look at how this trick actually plays out on the floor. Take European roulette. The wheel has 37 numbers. If you bet $100 on a single number and you win, the casino hands you $3,500. And that sounds amazing, doesn't it? But here's the catch. The actual odds of hitting that number are 36 to 1, not 35 to 1. Mathematically speaking, you should have been paid $3,600. That missing $100, boom, that goes straight to the house. It's an invisible tax. It looks like absolutely nothing to the guy sharing at the table, but try multiplying that missing $100 by 1,000 players a day, every single day for 30 years. And here's the crazy part. Casinos can even manipulate that edge right in front of us. Compare European and American roulette. American roulette uses the exact same wheel, the same payouts, and the same rules as the European version, but they simply squeezed in one extra slot, the double zero pocket. By adding that single tiny pocket, the casino instantly doubled its house edge from 2.7% all the way up to 5.26%. The players standing at the table, having a drink, chatting with friends, they cannot tell the difference. But let me tell you, the math notices. The math notices every single time.
But you know, roulette isn't even where the big money lives. The real story is the slot machines. And this comparison might completely break your brain. Picture a millionaire whale playing high-limit blackjack. The house edge on that game is tiny, just 0.5%. Now, contrast that guy with a sweet cartoon grandma feeding her spare change into the penny slots all afternoon. Those penny machines are running a house edge of 12 to 15%. Essentially, the cheaper the machine, the higher the edge. So per dollar wagered, that sweet grandma is statistically the most profitable customer in the entire building. She's literally giving the casino 30 times more than the millionaire playing blackjack.
Which leads us directly to the staggering number, $4.9 billion. If you walk onto the floor of any Las Vegas Strip casino, you're going to see an absolute sea of slot machines. Why? Because in 2024, slot machines alone brought the Vegas Strip $4.9 billion. That one single category of games generates more revenue than every table game combined. It is just an absolute powerhouse of profit, built entirely on a 5 to 15% mathematical advantage.
Okay, so the math is definitely doing its job. But here's the catch. Math needs time to work. That's why the physical architecture of a casino is explicitly engineered to trap you inside. The industry calls this engineered immersion. Think about it. Have you ever noticed what's missing when you walk into a casino? There's zero windows. There are no clocks anywhere on the walls. The carpet patterns are subtly and deliberately designed to push your eyes upward, right toward the flashing lights of the slot machines. And the walk from any table to the exit? It's basically a maze that forces you to pass 10 more rows of slots just in case you've got any loose change left in your pocket. The goal isn't just to win your money once. The goal is to strip away your reference to time in the outside world so that mathematical edge has hours and hours to just grind down your wallet.
And to keep you sitting there even longer, the industry came up with the most surgical customer retention system on earth, the Players Club card. When you slide that card into a machine or hand it over to a dealer, every single bet you make is being tracked. From that data, the casino calculates what they call your theoretical loss. So if you bet the $10,000 over an evening against a 5% house edge, your theoretical loss is $500. The casino knows exactly what you are mathematically expected to lose.
And once they know your theoretical loss, they toss you back about 5 to 10% of it in the form of comps. We're talking free dinners, free hotel rooms, free drinks. $4.4 billion. That is exactly how much Vegas Strip casinos gave away in free stuff in 2024 alone. But make no mistake, they didn't lose that money out of the goodness of their hearts. They invested it. Every single free drink or comped room is a highly calculated surgical expense designed to keep you inside the building just a little bit longer so the math can keep working its magic on you.
Now, at the very top of this retention pyramid sit the VIPs, the whales. Roughly 0.1% of casino customers account for over 25% of total casino revenue. Think about that. 1 in 1,000 customers generates a quarter of the total money. Take a famous example from the sources we reviewed, UFC President Dana White. He plays $25,000 per hand at blackjack. He won $2 million one weekend, came back and won another $1.6 million. Some casinos actually banned him because he was winning too much, but giants like Caesars and Bellagio, they still let him play. Why? Because the casino will gladly spend $500,000 flying a whale in on a private jet, putting them up in the penthouse, and hiring them a private Michelin chef for the weekend. It's completely rational for them, because that whale's expected loss is $10 million. The math always wins eventually, and the whale always comes back.
So, when you stack all of this together, it builds into the ultimate bulletproof casino revenue formula. Step 1, establish that house edge. Step 2, pump in a massive volume of bets. Step 3, maximize the time players spend betting using that engineered immersion we talked about. And Step 4, secure repeat visits using comps and players clubs. Every single physical object, rule, and operational decision inside that building exists solely to maximize one of these 4 steps. It is a brilliant system for generating top-line revenue.
But this brings us to a harsh reality, and it finally answers our original paradox about why these casino owners go bankrupt. It boils down to an old industry saying, the math gives you a guaranteed top line. Everything below it is a fistfight. Sure, the top line revenue is guaranteed by statistics, but out of every single dollar of gaming revenue, about 70 to 80 cents is totally gone before the owner ever sees a dime of profit. A typical strip casino runs on just a 25 to 33% net margin.
So where does that 70 to 80 cents go? It gets completely swallowed up by a massive list of hidden operational costs, the chaotic, day-to-day realities of running a mega resort. A single Vegas property employs between 3,000 and 8,000 people. Then, taxes take a huge bite. Nevada is pretty friendly at 6.75%, but over in Macau, they take 40% right off the top, and Pennsylvania, they take over 50% on slots. Add to that a massive 24/7 surveillance department watching absolutely everything. You've got to throw away and replace playing cards every 4 to 8 hours just to prevent marking. You have to insure and physically manage over $150 million in cash kept inside places like the Bellagio. And hey, because you're serving tens of thousands of free drinks so gamblers bet bigger, you inevitably have to deal with drunk people falling, getting into fights, and filing liability lawsuits. It is an incredibly expensive fistfight.
And when operators lose that fistfight, it almost always comes down to 2 fatal mistakes: taking on way too much debt or simply building the wrong product for the market. History is just littered with examples. In 1990, the Trump Taj Mahal went bankrupt. Why? It was financed with $675 million in junk bonds at a staggering 14% interest. The debt was so high, the casino had to generate nearly $100 million a year just to service it before paying any other expenses. In 2012, Revel in Atlantic City failed because they built a casino for Wall Street hedge fund guys instead of regular gamblers. They banned smoking and didn't even have a buffet, and ended up selling for pennies on the dollar. And in 2016, the Lucky Dragon in Vegas failed. They built a small, quiet boutique casino for Asian high rollers, totally ignoring the fact that high rollers fly to Vegas specifically for the massive Vegas spectacle. The math was working perfectly in all these places, but the business decisions totally failed them.
So how do you survive today? Well, here is a massive twist: the modern survival strategy. If you build a modern $1 billion Vegas Strip property today, only 1/3 of your revenue actually comes from gambling. 2/3 of it comes from the hotel rooms, the restaurants, the shows, and the conventions. A modern Vegas casino is barely even a casino anymore. It's actually a massive entertainment resort that basically uses gambling as a loss leader to pull customers in the door. And that pretty much wraps up our explainer today. The economics of this industry are totally paradoxical. You have this ironclad,
guaranteed revenue up against the wildly unpredictable costs of everything else. But, if you can survive that operational fistfight for 20 years, the rewards are absolutely astronomical. Just look at Sheldon Adelson, who built a $35 billion fortune. But never forget where the true power of this entire empire actually comes from. It all traces back to that tiny, invisible mathematical edge on the spin of a wheel or the flip of a card. Like the old saying goes, the house always wins. Just make sure you're the house. But honestly, it leaves us with one final fascinating question to ponder. If we all know the math is completely rigged against us, and we know that these billion-dollar palaces are funded entirely by our statistical losses, what is it about human psychology that makes us keep walking back through those doors? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you on the next one.